What is going on? Coach Aubrey here, and welcome to the channel. Today, I'm going to talk about something that I have just recently started leveraging, and that is seasons. And trust me, when I used to hear, there's a season for everything, life is full of seasons, it used to go in one ear and out the other because I've been hearing that since I was a kid. But it wasn't until recently that I actually thought, okay, I'm going to try to leverage different seasons and really see if it makes a difference. And holy cannoli does it. So I'm going to talk about seasons today, and we're really going to look at it in the big picture and then on a very micro level, like week to week, even day to day, like what seasons are we going through? So we're going to cover that and what each season is for. And so if you get value from this, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I love hearing from you guys. So as we go along, I want to give you a heads up that at the end of this video, I'm actually going to dive into a conspiracy theory about the seasons. And I want to hear from you guys to see if you believe it is a conspiracy. There's nothing really behind it. It's just people thinking too much into it. Or do you think maybe there is something behind this and there is some reality to the fact that the seasons have changed over time? So stay tuned to the end and we will dive into what I like to have fun with. I try not to take conspiracy theories too serious. They might be fact, they might be a lie, I don't know. So I just like to explore and be curious about them. But I will start this discussion in what I'll say is reality for now, for what we know. And so there are seasons, there's no doubt about this. And something that Tony Robbins always says is that successful people can anticipate the seasons and they optimize the season that they're in. And again, I used to hear this and I'm like, okay, but yeah, seasons, whatever. But when you really think about it, we are not programmed to go full force 24/7 all year long. Any of us would burn out. It doesn't matter how superhuman you feel most of the time, you have to rest. It's just like a 24-hour day. There's no human that can go without sleeping. They might go for longer than other humans without sleeping, but ultimately all of us have to sleep to really be able to maintain our lives and what we're doing. So it's the same thing in all other areas. It might vary from one person to another, but we all have seasons. So once we can recognize what season we're in and how we can get the most out of that season, we're going to be prepared for the next season. And so just like rest, if you miss out of an hour of sleep, that's going to affect the next season, which is waking up, getting your day started, so on and so forth. So let's start this whole discussion with a big picture look at this. We have 4 seasons, technically speaking. We've got spring, summer, fall, winter. Now, ironically, the new year starts in the dead of winter. And this is part of what we're going to get into more later in the video. But let's just break down these seasons and really match what's going on in the season and make it personal to us. Because we can all relate to the seasons. Okay, so the environment, the earth goes through seasons, and then we as individuals also go through seasons. And these aren't just seasons that leave us and never return. We all have cycles that we go through in life. So these cycles will come back around. So what do I mean by this? Well, we might go through a phase where, let's use fitness, for example. Maybe we've set a brand new goal and we're ready to grow this goal. So we have a training plan, we start our training plan, we have a nutrition plan, we start our nutrition plan, we've got our goals laid out, and we are ready to bloom that spring. It's a new beginning, we're getting started, we're doing different things, we're being creative. That is what spring is all about. And then you get into summer, and summer is fun. Summer's booming, everybody's happy, everything's going good, it's smooth. It's just fun, it's light. That's summer. You're just flowing, you're having fun. All right. And that's, if you think about it in terms of fitness, that's when your program's booming, right? Like you're in the groove, you got a routine going, and you're having fun with it. You're enjoying it, and it's still new. So once you shift into fall, that's when things start to change, right? There might be some new things coming along in your day-to-day. And also you're figuring out in your fitness program what works, what doesn't. So you can think about fall as you're tweaking stuff and you're really getting your systems locked into place. Fall is a time of change. It's a time of preparing also for the winter. And this is something so big that so many mindset coaches talk about, is preparing for the winter. So not only the season of winter, but also in our lives when winter comes. Because if we circle back around to the beginning of this video, when I talked about how none of us are programmed to go full force all the time, we all have to have a winter. So that means we all have to have a time where we kind of hibernate, we rest, we keep the system going, like we do our day to day, but we're not in that creative mode. We're not in that mode to start something brand new and be adventurous or step out and do something brave. There is a time in our lives, there are seasons for all of us where we just want to have stability. We want things to stay the same. We want to be safe, secure. We want to ground ourselves, right? So that's winter. So when you can recognize what season you're going through, you can optimize it. So for example, if you're in the middle of winter and you're trying to get stable, maybe, stuff's been happening for a while, you've been going, maybe business is booming or you're hitting your goals, you're knocking them out of the park, you'll get to a point where your system starts to slow down. You start to get a little cold, so to speak. Winter's coming. That's when you know that it's time to kind of go into more of a hibernation mode where you're working the system, you're doing your routine, but you're not doing much outside of that routine because you need to rest more. If you want to think it in terms of bodybuilding even, you have bodybuilders who go through a show season. We can call that spring, summer, when they're booming, they're on stage, fun stuff is happening, lights, camera, action. And then we go into winter where we're building and we are basically continuing the system, but it might not be super fun, but we're just grinding, right? We're not doing anything crazy. We're not doing anything out of the ordinary or setting any new goals. We're in the off season. We're doing what we know we need to do. We're putting our head down and we're doing the work. We're not in creative mode yet. So it's going to be different from one person to the next, but we all have seasons that we go through. So it is pointless, and I believe this wholeheartedly now, to try to build something new when we're in the middle of winter, when our system is shut down, we've been overwhelmed, we've been doing a lot, and now we need to rest. If we then tell ourselves, I can't rest, I've got to keep creating, I got to keep creating, we're going to burn out. And even when we're burned out, we might try to pretend that we're not, but we are. And we're not embracing the season we're in. So I've been looking at this at more of a micro level. Like, okay, I get the big picture. We go through seasons in life, and every year we go through different seasons. But how can I apply this right now? And this is what's been coming up for me, and I think it's going to help a lot of you. Let's talk about a cycle in a month, especially for women. So men, if you get a little squirmy when women start talking about menstrual cycles, I don't know, maybe fast forward 5 minutes. But for a woman, I'm going to talk about myself here for a second. I have a menstrual cycle every month, right? This is such a great example because it's consistent each month. It might be a day or late or a day early, but it's consistent. What I have found is this. The week leading up to my menstrual cycle, I am super emotional. I'm a little irrational. I'm not my optimal self. I'm, like I said, highly emotional, so I'm very reactive. I know that I do not need to put myself in new creative situations where I need to be able to think critically, think very clearly. I don't schedule that now for that week. And even in the gym, I know that I'm going to feel a lot more tired. You might not be this way. This is me. I'm a lot more tired that week leading up to my period. So I can now prepare for that. I'm not going to have these big events scheduled for that week. And I'm also not going to have situations where I need to make cutthroat decisions that are going to be lasting. So that's a season I can anticipate. Now, the week of my period, I'm a little less emotional actually, but my cravings are crazy. And I really need sugar and I'm really tired. So I know, okay, I need to make sure that I'm getting myself to bed early enough to get as much rest as I need. Also, I realize I'm gonna have a sweet tooth that week. So maybe I don't take cheat meals for a couple weeks before that. I'm anticipating the season. I'm anticipating what comes every single month and I'm preparing for it so I'm not holding myself back. So I continue to grind, I continue to put that work in. And this is sort of like a winter season where I'm not trying to do anything crazy, new and creative. I'm not doing anything out of the norm. I'm just sticking to my schedule and I'm getting by and I'm optimizing what I have. Here's where it gets magical though. So the week after my period, I all of a sudden have this surge of energy and I feel very creative and I want to do stuff and I want to start new things. That's like spring for me. Again, this is me. For you, it might be the week leading up to your period. You feel like this. I don't know. But that week after, I know I can put on my schedule, okay, I'm going to design a new challenge for my clients this month. Or I'm going to challenge myself this month on some lifting or some exercise that I want to get really good at. That's where I create something new because I have the energy to be creative. It's also when I make videos like this, I try to kind of stack them and do a lot in that week because I have the energy for it. If I was making this video the week before my period, this would not be my energy. So I'm anticipating the seasons and it's making a difference, you guys. And then that fourth week, loosely speaking, I still have my energy going. I still feel good. So what I do is whatever I put into place the week before, I continue to jack it up and optimize it and make it better and better. And then the cycle starts again. Then I go into that week before my period. My energy slows down. I get really emotional. So what I've built last 2 weeks, I just maintain that. I don't do anything new. So I've been doing this for about 5 months now. It's making a difference. My days feel different. My anxiety is a lot lower too, y'all. Because a lot of times, especially for women with our hormones moving around, we don't know why we're feeling in a certain moment. But when we look at the calendar and we can say, okay, this happened to me the same time last month, what a difference it makes to have that peace of mind and know, okay, this is the season. It makes sense. This is what I'm going through. Now, what I share with you, that's my personal example, what I've been through lately, but you can think about this in your own life. And you're going to go through all kinds of different seasons, but if you can start to recognize what season is this that I'm in, if you feel really energized and you're feeling creative and you want to start a book or you want to create some art, whatever being creative looks like for you, you're probably in a spring season. So go for it. Go all out. If things are booming and you feel like you're in that flow, you're probably in summer. So just keep feeling that. But where it really gets tricky for people is when they get into fall and winter, because their energy starts to drop and they start to panic a little bit. And they're like, okay, this doesn't feel as good as it once did. I'm not as creative as I once was. I'm not building more things. I'm not as productive as I was before. Don't freak out about that. It's just a different season, and definitely don't shame yourself about it. Because again, it's normal to go through seasons. So when you feel that happening in your body, it might be time to slow down. Stick with whatever systems you have for your life and just go through them, right? Just live your life. Like, enjoy the journey. Don't worry about getting better and better and better and better and better all year long. Sometimes you just have to maintain for a while. Give yourself a chance to breathe. Hibernate for a little bit. Be to yourself. The other thing winter represents is turning inward, like being with ourselves to remember what we're doing and who we are. Because if we're constantly building and we're constantly trying to go after different dreams and goals and do all this fun stuff, we can get lost in there. We can lose ourselves a little bit and get so busy that we forget what our essence is. We forget who we are and what we want to do with our lives. So that winter time, it's not just a time for depression. It's a time to really go inward and reflect. It's a reflecting time to get more in touch with ourselves. So embrace every season. That's really what I wanted this video to be all about, is if you notice that you're not consistently hitting your goals the way you want to be, or maybe you're really high and then you're really low. You do really good some days, but then you do really bad some days. Try to start finding your cycles, your seasons, because I guarantee you, if you can start to anticipate what's coming by finding these patterns, life is so much more enjoyable because you're not worried about what's going on. You just know you're in this season, right? And each season is for a different reason. So if you've watched this far, first of all, I want to know if you are thinking about seasons that you go through, and if the wheels are spinning and you're starting to connect the dots, let me know below. I want to hear from you. And also, here we come full circle. So this is the fun part, what I call the conspiracy theory. And again, if this is true and you know it's true and you have the facts on it, by all means, let me know in the comments below. I am not a closed mind. I hope you know that about me now. Back in the day, the Roman calendar had 10 months. And guess when the first of the year started? Spring. Does that not make perfect sense? Okay, so we've got January 1st. Think about it now. When we go into the new year, we set these New Year's goals and we're like, we're going to start something new. We're going to build something brand new. But right now, that's in the dead of winter when we're supposed to be hibernating. And a lot of people have seasonal depression where you feel really tired and introverted during the winter. So going out and trying to start this huge new craft and create a new goal in the dead of winter goes against the grain for most of us. That's not what our bodies are doing January 1st. So we try to get all amped up about this New Year's resolution, and then it's not in our DNA, it's not in our body to want to carry that on because we're in the middle of winter. So back in the day, the new year was in the spring. So imagine if you started your new goal when the weather's nice and the flowers are blooming and it's warm outside and you feel that extra energy. What a difference that would make versus starting your New Year's resolutions in the dead of winter. So what people are saying, and this is the conspiracy theory, is that groups did this on purpose, like the government back in the day, the Romans, the people that basically ran the show. I won't get too much into it, but I've heard that they said they shifted and made it 12 months and changed the new year to start January 1st so that people would be more controlled. Because, and I'm just having fun with this, y'all. Don't take this, take this with a grain of salt. Because if we were to start our goals and try to start new things January 1st, most people give up. So there's not going to be a bunch of innovations. There's not going to be a bunch of success for individuals. Now, if we were to start stuff in the middle of spring, we would stick to it a lot more. That's our creative season. That's when our bodies feel more alert and more creative. So a lot more people would be successful in their resolutions and succeed, meaning that the people in power would begin to be knocked off their thrones and the individuals would begin to raise their vibrations and create more and more. So that's why people think that's why I consider it a conspiracy theory, because we don't know. Like maybe they did change the calendar to control the masses so that a few people with power maybe can be the ones that create and optimize the seasons, and maybe all the peasants, all the individuals, they keep banging their head against a wall because they're trying to start their New Year's resolutions in the dead of winter when they're supposed to be sleeping and resting. So what do you guys think? I want to hear in the comments below. I just think it's something kind of fun to consider. But I do truly believe that if more people would lean into the seasons, they would be more successful. So instead of starting a New Year's resolution January 1st, if you were to start it, say, April 1st, when the weather's nice and you're in a good mood, you're feeling good, the kids are about to be out for school, it's exciting. It's an exciting time. Then summer comes along, everyone's on vacations, and what happens when we're on vacation? You might not have noticed this yourself. I've noticed it. I all of a sudden start getting great ideas because I'm relaxed, I'm happy, I'm having a good time. I will come up with so many ideas for business. I will have so much energy to do other stuff besides just have fun. If we were to start our resolutions closer to that time, we'd be booming, we'd be successful. But most of us start on January 1st, which is in the dead of winter, when we're supposed to be hibernating still. So we're exhausted and we're pushing against the grain trying to get these goals off the ground. So something to consider: know your seasons, lean into the season you're in, and don't shame yourself for being in the season you're in. There is a reason for the season. Trust me, every season has a purpose. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think the calendar ordeal is a conspiracy, or do you think it's an actual fact that that's why they changed the calendar to a 12-year month and started it in January? The other thing I want to know is, what season are you in? Share it in the comments below. I know for me, I'm feeling like I'm in spring. and it is spring, so it's pretty perfect. All right, y'all, thanks for hanging out. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to be here every week, like I said, and if there's something you want me to nerd out on with you, let me know below. Love you guys. Have a powerful week ahead.